with me. Today, we're going to talk about something very important. So, number one, I want to acknowledge the fact that we have reached an extremely critical and pivotal moment in the podcast. We're now at 51 episodes. So, I'm so excited about that. But what I would say to you today is where are we going and what are we doing? We should all in this process be utilizing the concepts that we're talking about because the funny thing about life is if it is not lived on purpose, it never results in a good outcome. That's just the way that it works. We've spoken about it in previous episodes. The simple fact that success is not accidental, success is intentional. I'm going to challenge each person to identify exactly what does success mean to you? What is it that you actually want to get out of life so that we're not living haphazard or random? The reason this is important is each and every day we're being faced with decisions that we have to make, choices that we have to make. Some choices are good, some choices are bad. The funny thing about choices is we choose. What I would challenge you to do is if you write down exactly what your goals are and what is it that you want to accomplish when you've reached this point in life where you've got 40 plus years behind you. At this point, we realize that time is not waiting. The funny thing about life, even just looking at the seasons, it's so amazing. Literally, summer recently started, but before summer, there was supposed to have been spring that seemed to never have arrived this year. No spring. It just went from very, very cold to very rainy, and then all of a sudden, hot as all get out. Unbelievable. But what's interesting about that is it is a reflection of what's actually happening in life. The seasons are moving fast. I was actually I had a this moment like this like wow moment where I was thinking about my oldest son and I was thinking about his age. And even though he's in his 30s, he's closer to 40 than he is to 19. I was thinking, "What? This is crazy." That means that the decisions that we make or the decisions that we fail to make are more important now than ever because the timelines are collapsing, if you will, for the good and the bad. Meaning, if we miss the opportunity to make a good decision, the repercussion of that could be great and it could last for an extended period of time. But likewise, if we're living on purpose and we're able to move with intentionality and seize the day, seize the moment, be in the right place at the right time, because we're not living haphazard, there are great rewards in store for us. This is huge. You know, we get to a point in life where we realize this is no longer an accident or a game. We've got to be serious about this. As a matter of fact, if we are willing, those of us that are willing to really live with intentionality, there is huge opportunity yet available. Now, one of the things we don't do on this podcast, we don't talk about all the things that we have and all the things that we've done and all the places we've been. All of that is well and good. At the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about how can we make a difference and positively impact the lives of other people. Our goal here on the No Time to Waste podcast studio, it's a very simple goal. We only want to touch 1 million people. That's not a lot of people, just 1 million. And I believe we can do that. And by actually touching the lives of 1 million people, we can actually change the culture. And if we can change the culture, we can impact the world. I believe that the concept of just developing solid, healthy relationships, pouring into others, and teaching them to do the same. This is how we actually make transformative moves. Really, it's huge. Now, I need us to think about something. Now that we've reached this point with 50 episodes behind us, we're at episode 51. That is incredible. There are some people that still are trying to figure out What am I transforming into, and what am I doing? What's my goal? Well, I'm going to remind you that one of the things that is critical, and we all agreed to it when we decided to join this journey, one, we were going to journal. The journaling is critical. That is where we get an opportunity to write our thoughts down. How were you feeling after that particular episode? What were the ahas you got? What were things that stood out to you? What are the books that you'll read as a result of it? What changes will you make? This is critical. We can no longer live like there's tomorrow. We have to live and make today count. One of the things I say often, and I didn't come up with the saying, anything that must be done eventually should be done immediately. Take action. We have to practice taking action. I was listening to, by the way, during this season that we're in, this moment in our culture, there are so many people that are talking about so many things. Unfortunately, a lot of it is what a dear friend of mine would call yah. They're just talking. They're just talking. There are a lot of mouths, a lot of moving mouths, but there's not a lot of evidence and fruit on the trees. Do you know a selfie or a moment, these little snaps and pics that we see, a lot of what we see is not even real. That's what's wild. This We're living in a culture right now that is more like California than what America was like over the years. There are more people pretending than there are people really living. And there are more people that are just living than there are people that are alive. I would challenge you that as we're going through this journey, let's get very serious and very intentional. And the number one reason why is the only person that you can truly depend on and count on in the future to take care of you, the person that you see in the mirror, is the person that you see in the mirror. That's it. It's you. And you can do this. The wonderful thing about our country is you have an opportunity at any given moment to reinvent yourself. You can change professions, careers, you can change your education, you can change, you can transform. It is not too late. There are people that have actually begun medical school and they're in their 60s. It's not too late. There are people in high school GED programs around the nation, people that have been out of high school for 15, 20 years. They dropped out and they've gone back now to get their GEDs. It's not too late to finish what you started. Some of the talking heads out there right now are saying things like, because we're closer to primates than being individuals that have been divinely chosen by God and assigned and for tasks and feats of greatness that are fearfully and wonderfully created and skilled and gifted beyond imagination. Some just think we're primates, and because of that, our total nature is just survival and it's not success. I would challenge that thought. I would challenge that. The reason that people do not aspire towards success is because they've allowed the programming of culture to beat them down and condition them into believing that they're not worthy. It's not that a person does not have the innate capacity to achieve. It's that the majority of us have had to battle circumstances far beyond our control. Do you know what's funny about life? We live the first 15 years, the majority of the trauma and all of some of the most horrible things that happen to people, they happen in the first 15 years of life. Those first 15 are just, for some people, just the worst. And the majority of people that are challenged, they experience or endure the first 15 years of their lives, and then they spend the next 65 years trying to overcome what they experienced during the first 15. Something's wrong with what's happening. But I believe you and I together, we can actually make a difference, and we can actually support proper community engagement and proper culture. We can do this, but we've got to get involved. Our voices must be heard. People have to hear your story. A lot of us, we feel that we've gone through things that have been so traumatic and so terrible, we'll never tell anyone. That one we'll take to our grave. I would submit that it may be a little different than what you think. Maybe, just possibly, you were allowed to experience and endure some things that would have destroyed others and do destroy others for the purpose of being impactful in the future. Now, it doesn't mean that we're supposed to give every gory detail of our trauma and our history. That's not it. Sometimes, suffice it to say, it is enough to simply put it this way: I've experienced things in life that some of which are too horrible to even articulate. But what I've learned through it all is boom. And now you share that life lesson without all the details. We've been able to express it without all the details, because sometimes the details can actually glorify trauma, glorify horror, glorify torment. And that's not the objective. And that's not a winning strategy. Another thought: a lot of people are saying that if you've gone through trauma, setback, if you've experienced something that was devastating in your life, you're all washed up. There's no hope for you. I would submit to you that they are 1000% wrong. Some of the greatest people, period, have undergone some of the most devastating experiences and setbacks. They've had losses, they've had trauma, they've gone through assault and battery, all kinds of turmoil, and yet they were chosen to do something great. Many people fit in this particular category of survivors. When you are a survivor, it does not mean that you are weak, nor does it mean that you're broken. Actually, there are lessons that you've learned through your struggle and through everything that you may have faced that could actually have a positive impact on others if they could only hear your story. I believe your voice needs to be heard. Maybe it's in poetry, maybe it's in a book, maybe it's in a song, maybe it's on a podcast, but your story needs to be heard, because in God, nothing is wasted. And He allowed us all to be on this planet at the exact same time for a reason. I believe we can do it, impact the lives of 1 million people, and we can together change the culture. Looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. And we're going to get very, very intentional. And that is the one that we'll be covering affirmations. I have a wonderful piece that we're giving away for free. You can go to our website at the no time to waste podcast.com. You go to the website and you can click on the link so that you can download the guide on building personal affirmations. Absolutely incredible. It's a brief 10-step process, so good, and you'll really, really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of No Time to Waste. Take care and make it a great one. Let's seize the day.